Hey guys, I'm panicking. I'm supposed to upload a video this Friday and usually I record around 10 days before so I have enough time to make edits, but this time I had the flu and I was bedridden so I couldn't record, and right now it's Monday and there's 4 days left and I still haven't recorded, and right now I'm recording but I still have the flu and I'm getting tired just from saying this sentence out loud. The Paul brothers have a new show and it sucks. Don't watch it. That's it. I'm gonna go to bed. You guys don't watch it. Okay? Bye. Alright, I have to talk about it. Okay. The show is a show about having a show and talking all the time about how cool it is to have a show. So if you're on YouTube, there's no way you have managed to not see the Paul brothers in some shape or form, and once you see them, you're gonna see them again and again and again. You can't avoid them. Much like those little light dots that come into your peripheral when you stand up too fast after hunching down on the toilet for a while cause you're constipated, they're unavoidable. So in order to not waste your time explaining who they are, for those who miraculously don't know them, I have prepared what I call a lightning round explanation. Here we go. Logan is a narcissistic egomaniac who started on Vine, transitioned into YouTube, did daily vlogs, got into controversy for being insensitive to a sensitive subject, regained relevancy by fighting KSI in celebrity boxing, became friends with him, then together they launched the worst sports drink ever that contained lead, which led them to launching the worst launchable competitor with Mr. Beast called Launchly that contained malt. He also wrestles now. And Jake is a problematic narcissistic egomaniac who started on Disney Channel and Vine, got into vlogging on YouTube. It's everyday bro, promoted gambling to children, got raided by FBI for some reason, drove on a beach during turtle nesting season, got into boxing to beat up a 57-year-old Mike Tyson, and now he says he's gonna become the world champion. Yeah, right. Oh my god. I did not expect this to take that much energy out of me. I wrote this script before I got the flu and I feel like I've been hit by a car after that lightning round, so... And now these two shining beacons of our society have decided it's time for the people to see more of them in TV show format. And as two vloggers who spent the last decade showing people their daily lives, their rivalry and their drama, the most creative idea they could come up with for a TV show was to show people their daily lives, their rivalry and their drama. But this time you have to pay for it on HBO Max. Yay! And apparently I can't say the word rivalry. Rival. The show is called Paul American, and for the life of me I could not understand what they were thinking when they announced this show, but from watching the first episode I now realize that they were not thinking at all, cause the whole show is about having a show. It starts with the promo shoot they are doing for the show.
Today is the marketing shoots and photo shoots and promo shoots for Paul American.
Then they talk about having a show.
Predictions on how the show's gonna do when it comes out.
Ratings and numbers wise?
Then they show themselves pitching the show to the producer.
Yeah, really like the testosterone Kardashians.
And then talk to their family about having a show. That is not a show. You can't have a show where you spend the whole time talking about having a show and how is it going to be to have a show. So if you wanted to recommend this video to a friend of yours to watch, please don't tell them to do a shot every time I say the word show. They will die. And the same goes for freaking Paul American. I'll be honest though, it's not all about having a show. They do throw in some tidbits about their beginnings where they pat themselves on the back for going viral for all the wrong reasons, and they do a review of their controversial past.
Even he says his latest content was his biggest mistake.
I was like, I'm invincible.
The outrage was swift. Logan Paul posted a video.
I'm simply here to apologize.
What? You're not even including the I made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment part?
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
At least play the biggest hits. By the way, I always had a problem with this sentence. Like, how can you make a lapse in your judgment? You can't make a lapse. You have a lapse. Also, a continuous lapse makes no sense. A lapse is a sleep. Like, you can't keep sleeping. You can't continuously sleep. You can't keep falling without hitting the ground. Although somehow Logan manages to do it.
People say like, they suck, terrible people.
You were though. You can't be like, people were judging us for being terrible when you were terrible. I don't get why people judge us so much. Just because of the horrendous crap we have unloaded on the internet? Just because social media is worse off for us being in it? Just because we are a menace to society, environment, and the future of humanity? How could you say we are terrible? Let me guess, are you gonna hate us if we kick babies too, huh? Anyways, they also announced the cast of the show, which is the Pauls, their partners, and their parents. But somehow it feels like they are introducing the roster for the worst D&D game of your life. Prepare for an epic journey. Yes, can't wait to hear about the characters. The outspoken dad, who is kind of racist. Oh wow, who chose that one? Could we have a change maybe? The peacekeeper mom. Oh, okay, I guess that is the negotiator. The supermodel fiance. Can any one of these do combat? The racist dad is weaponized. Yeah, that seems worse. World champion speed skater girlfriend. That is a long title, but I guess we could use a speedster on our side. Logan Paul. Nope, I'm leaving. This sucks. Wait, we do have a damage dealer. Do we? Yes. Okay, go ahead. Only attacks the elderly Jake Paul. Where did he go? This episode also includes the main pitch of the show, which is amazing. They are basically framing it as them being the true American family, and that is why they call it Paul American.
This is America, and we are from the heart of America. We're the true American family.
How is this exactly supposed to be relatable for Americans? Yeah, we are the typical red-blooded American family, and like any other American family, we are rich as hell, but still would do anything for clout.
You've made your entire life content for the world to digest. When are you the real you?
Good question.
That was totally spontaneous and not at all rehearsed. Also not a good question. This is the real you. The real you is who you are on camera. This is not freaking Stanley Kubrick life behind the camera. You're both vloggers who've been chronically online for the past decade. You put it all out there. There is no deep introspection of what makes you you. This is it. They also talk about their rivalry a bit, which is proof that they don't have comprehension over the sensation of cringe as they put you through the lamest rivalry in history ever.
Little brother Jakey try to roast me? What? Little brother standing on his own 2 feet? That's the love.
You started it.
Help me, help you make a better song. Numbers don't lie. The Logan is
The fact that this song was about Jake helping Logan make a better song is wild, to say the least. This song was made in their diss era, which ended with Logan apparently sleeping with Jake's ex-girlfriend.
Violet used to be your chick. Now she in the Logan and you know she on my.
But I already knew about all this stuff before watching the show, cause, okay guys, I have a confession to make. I used to watch Logan Paul, unironically. I know, but before you judge me, rightfully so, hear me out. The first time I watched Logan Paul was around 8 years ago when he had just recently transitioned from Vine to YouTube. And for me, who was a poor boy living in a third world country, he was living the dream life, doing what he loved most. He was living in a high-rise with the biggest beanbag chair I had ever seen. He had a lot of friends, he was in pretty good shape, and he had a crazy huge beanbag chair. He was even able to transition into acting, which was a dream of mine, and make his own films, which were terrible by the way. He also had a very cool car and a big ass beanbag chair. I really liked the beanbag chair, okay? But then I grew tired of the repetitive nature of his content and how indoctrinating it was. I felt like I was just living through him instead of trying to achieve my own dreams. And when you watch a vlogger's content every day, they have a huge influence on you, and especially when that vlogger is kind of a douchebag, you kind of start to question your sanity. It was at that point that I realized I don't want to watch his content anymore, and that was a very weird 4 months of my life that I shared with you just now. Back to the rivalry though, I can't say this word correctly, I swear to God. What we didn't know about the whole drama is what their parents thought about this, which is very important. Their mom's opinion is weird enough.
Why would they listen to me? They're making lots more money than I've ever made. And what am I gonna do?
But the dad, who is dressed as Redneck Craven the Hunter apparently, states his opinion like a 1950s hustler.
The shit they were doing to each other, you cannot take back. You cannot undo. If you're a dude and you're a bro, you stay away from that tail. There's plenty of tail out there. You don't need to rail the tail that your other buddy was railing.
Honestly, I'd also be pretty insane if my dad talked like this. Then they focus on Jake a bit, where they cover what led to the Jake versus Mike Tyson fight, where Jake gives a totally not made up story about basically seeing himself as the messiah of boxing.
One of the nights, randomly out of nowhere, it's like showing me this vision of me and Mike Tyson in a giant stadium, and it shows the next day, like the butterfly effect of it, millions of kids going into boxing gyms.
Now that I think about it, it actually sounds right. After watching Jake and a 57-year-old Mike Tyson walk around the ring for 16 minutes and once in a while giving each other light pats, millions of kids rushed into boxing gyms the next day to revoke their membership. He also says that this vision was the reason Mike accepted the fight.
I met like Mother Ayahuasca, and she like showed me how like our souls are intertwined in some weird way. And she was like, yo, you need to do anything you can to get on the phone with Mike to do something to make a fight with him happen.
Mother Ayahuasca was like, bro, you need to beat a 57-year-old man in public. That is your path. That is your calling. That is your doctoring. As in, you'll be calling a doctoring.
Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah, I like that. I like that. That's amazing, Jake. That's amazing.
It is obvious that he said that, and that's the reason it is the only part of the conversation you didn't show. And then this.
I agree what you're talking about. Let's just get our demon them together. Let's just talk in person.
This is how I think the actual conversation went. So the spirit mother came down from the sky above and told me your entangled soul may fight in a ring of fire. Man, shut the hell up. What are you on? No, Mike, listen. She then said, and you will fight. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm 57. I'm retired. Mike, you got to listen. No. At least let me finish the story. Okay, whatever. The mother said you will fight in the ring of fire and the children and the stuff. But most importantly, you will each walk away with $20 million. Wait, the mother said that? She did. She did. Oh wait, I think I'm getting the same vision. And the mother is saying you will take it easy on Mike and the match will be kind of chill with no knockouts and we still get the 20 mil? How can there be a knockout when there are no punches? Damn right. After that they go into the fact that Logan made fun of the fight on his podcast with KSI, who I mentioned before, the man who is in the thick of it and everybody knows, and even though he knows nothing, he knew that this fight made no sense. And the rest is just them talking endlessly about the show till the episode ends with them trying to rescue a drone from a lake. At the end of the day, this show is very fake. Somehow for two people who spend their whole lives in front of the camera, the reality TV show format brings out their most showman-y behavior, where everything is for the show. They act for the show.
We're making a show. Like, we're actually making a show.
That's crazy.
You guys should argue right now.
Sorry.
We're gonna have to manufacture drama for sure.
You go yourself. I don't give a anymore, bro. That'll be used in the trailer.
You can't do that. You can't create a fake moment and tease it and then put it in the actual trailer. They did though. Huh? Also, I think the main problem with the show is that it is too chill. For some reason, they are trying to be civil about everything.
But I also want everyone to realize and remember how much we all love each other. You're better together.
How is that fun to watch? Have you seen the Kardashians that you are so desperately trying to replicate?
I don't care to do it. Then don't be in it. Because you're so annoying. Perfect. Then shut up. No, but it's like I'm not scheduling it around you. You are annoying.
At least if you lashed out at each other a bit on camera, it would have been interesting. But this, I don't know. I watched this 4 times for the purpose of making this video and I am not well. And I'm not talking about the flu. But talking about the flu, I am falling right now. So that's all for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments and let me know if you want me to do a full review of the show when the season ends, which means you all hate me, but anything for the clout. And of course, the big project I was talking about is a smidgen away, not really ready yet, but it will be. You have my word, so maybe turn on that notification and you can see it right away when it comes out. See you next time where I make a reality TV show about my life. It's basically just me in my room with a laptop 24/7. Still probably more interesting than Pod American. Bye.